Hello, everyone, and welcome back. I'm your host, Veteran Mountain Man. So it seems that the Democrat Party has started a huge Twitter campaign where they are demanding people knock on doors, make phone calls, send texts, send tweets, trying to drum up the voters for their resist movement in order to try to win some of these swing states. I think realistically it might be a little too late. Now, I'm not going to say it is too late because we did just have early voting closed, and that means that on the 6th the polls will open and there will be a massive push to vote. However, most of what I have seen indicates that except for the socialist groups in the Democrat Party, most Democrats are either unenthusiastic or not really willing to vote, or are walking away. I mean, it just seems that the Democrat Party has lost all a semblance of center or balance and has continued to push even further towards their socialist ends, which is not a huge surprise. I mean, many of the people who marched with the American Nazi Party and the American Communist Party and the American Workers' Party continue to push the Democrat Party towards their ends, and have been since pretty much Reconstruction. So it's not really shocking or alarming or anything that at this point the Democrats have lost everything except for pretty much the neoliberals and the extremist left. I mean, America was founded on a concept of checks and balances, of open society discourse and debate, on the idea that you should be free to think for yourself. And the progressive actions of the Democrat Party since Reconstruction have been anything but self-aware. They've been all about mob mentality, centralization, larger government authority, expansion of control over your daily life. And if that's what you truly want, I mean, realistically, there's plenty of places you can go as an American citizen with the right to immigrate that the Constitution gives you, where you can go live like that. I mean, it's fairly easy. Why would we as American citizens want to perform the same mistakes that we've seen in other countries? Heck, to be fair, the CIA has helped set up some of those countries, which I don't agree with either. I honestly think that we need to allow countries to develop, evolve, and come to liberty on their own. Doesn't mean we can't guide them towards it, but knowledge handed without any context has no intrinsic value, and people won't necessarily accept it. In fact, they tend to reject it. And so this campaign of get out and vote by the Democrats, I'm not sure it's going to work this time. I mean, I remember their Rock the Vote campaign of the 90s. I remember their Just Vote campaign of the early 2000s. In most cases, they usually resulted to this when they knew that they had issues generating enough enthusiasm for their voters. And usually they generated it much, much earlier in order to whip up their voters. I'm not sure that they're going to have enough time at this point, because it seems to me as though they've lost serious momentum and ground in the national debate because of their identity politics. The fact that they seem to indicate that groups of individuals have to be the same has started to be fundamentally rejected by the American public, and for good cause. It's simply not true. The greatest minority is the individual, and the individual should think for themselves, be responsible for themselves, act in accordance with their own needs, desires, and wishes. And collectivism doesn't allow for any of that. Well, I want to remind everyone that it is important on the 6th that you get out and vote. No, I'm not part of their campaign. I'm just reminding everyone to. You do need to get out and vote, because you do need to make sure that the people chosen to represent you are the ones you wanted to choose to represent you. And you're not going to win every election. But if you don't vote, then you didn't express your voice. And voting is something that is seriously intrinsic to our system and should be done if you feel confident in doing it. If you don't, then that means you have not informed yourself, and you probably next election should spend some time actually looking at the candidates that are up for election and then go vote, instead of just voting on party lines, as so many people have done for so long. Well, thank you all again for joining me. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, and also don't forget to check out my other social media channels. I am on Twitter, I'm on BitChuteMinds.com, and many others down below. And as always, have yourself a wonderful day.